and you said about the guy in the US, he saw colour first. But what? So what? That's my point. So what of the colour? Why have we got this thing where colour gets in our way? I'm saying gets in people's way, and it changes the way that they're thinking. What difference does it make? This fly is.
I suppose the difference it makes. The difference it makes when you hold any prejudices, it affects the way that you react and you perform. So let's say, for instance, you have an aversion to someone who's gay. Dealing with a gay person, your performance will be completely different because you have that bias. You hold that bias. Same thing with men who deal with women. Women complainants, women suspects, female suspects. It affects their behavior. It affects the way that they perform. This is where your morals come out. This is where your values come out. I can honestly say that every person I've dealt with in 30 years of policing, I challenge anyone to come to me and say, you dealt with me differently because of my gender. You dealt with me differently because of my sexual orientation. You dealt with me differently because of my ethnicity. Everyone got dealt with the same.
Yeah.
Some people might say that's wrong because that means that I didn't adapt the way that I dealt with them to accommodate their gender, their sexual orientation, their ethnicity. You know what? I'll take that feedback. But what I can honestly say is that I did not deal with them differently because of any of their protected characteristics. And that's the key for me, and that's why I feel that these things happen, because whilst people may feel that they don't hold those prejudices, it comes out when people are under stress. It comes out. You can't stop it. It bleeds out. You cannot stop it.
But that goes.
And I would go further and say, go to a football match. Football supporters are the most passionate people. When something happens, what the football fans do in the main.
We know it. We saw it in the Euros.
We know what they do. And I would challenge you that now you're living in the States, when Tampa Bay are not doing well, when the Jets aren't doing well, when the Giants aren't doing well, you don't hear racist comments being shouted. You hear either get rid of the coach or get the second string on or whatever it is. But it's never racist. It's never homophobic. And this is just it. And that's the difference.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. The thing is, though, I keep thinking that it needs to go deeper to an education point of view, because ultimately what's the difference? And I'm pretty simple. I don't know, but what difference does it make? There's no difference. I remember when people were talking here about a couple of years ago about having a bathroom where you could have mixed genders going in. I don't want to see, someone was saying to me, I don't want to see what someone's got when they're in the urinal next to me. Well, why would you be looking? Why does it matter?
Exactly, absolutely. In Europe, you have mixed gender toilets where the females all use the toilet, the males use the urinal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter at all. And you're right, it does go down further into education, because you were schooled in the UK. So if your schooling was the same as mine, England won the Second World War, didn't they? Great Britain won the Second World War. Nobody else won the Second World War. I think the Americans came in 1944 when they dropped the bomb, and that was about it. They didn't tell us about Australia. They didn't tell us about the soldiers from India. They didn't tell us about soldiers from the Caribbean. They didn't tell us about all these other people that basically played massive parts in winning the war. And that's just it. It all starts from the beginning, from education. And even my 15-year-old daughter basically dropped history. And I said, well, why? She says, because they don't teach me my history. Why don't they teach me my history? Why don't they teach black history? They don't teach any black history, and that's it. And this is a child who's going through school now. So it's not changed from when we were at school 30 years ago,
Yeah, it don't remind me.
Doesn't it? Longer for me.
Yeah, it's just sad, and it feels like it's such a. I think of it like a golf ball. If you cut that golf ball in half, you see all that entangled rubber bands, elastic bands. You've got to start digging into that to unravel them and get to the core of it, I guess.